And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Pensacola, Florida, where we're going to go, the center of the automotive universe, to Daytona Beach, Florida, at the Rolex 24, where over 55 cars will take the green flag at the Daytona International Speedway today with just one goal in each driver's mind, and that's the fight to the finish with the ultimate goal of celebrating in Gatorade Victory Lane on Sunday. Joining us live from the Daytona International Speedway is Terry Sabiston, Sports Director for Racing at WNDB, Car Clinic's affiliate in Daytona. Terry, it's great to have you join us this morning.
It's great to be with you, Bobby, especially coming from Daytona International Speedway with cars on the track. What a great day. We've just had a little bit of a shower, but that looks like it's going to be clearing out. It's going to be cool, which means cars go faster, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Terry, the Rolex isn't just a race. It's 24 hours where you can explore, experience, and sort of expect the unexpected. What's it like on the track, and what's the feel in the atmosphere?
The atmosphere is unbelievable. The excitement's in the air. The infield's filling up. Also, the new grandstands, they've got the down toward turn one section open for where the new seating is, and I'm sure once it dries out and once you get into the nighttime, you're going to see some people sitting in those grandstands up there about 15 stories high looking down on the racetrack. Is a beautiful view for this 24-hour race.
I understand that there's a lot going on in the track, a Daytona 5K run, and there's wine and cheese parties and chili cook-offs, and just a lot of pure excitement there. Sign me up.
We've got a whole amusement park here. Ferris wheels, you name it, just completely set up in the midway down here in the middle of the infield. We got the Taste of 24 tonight. Have you heard about that, Bobby?
No, tell us about it.
This is put on by the NASCAR Foundation. It's a fundraiser, and the money goes to local scholarships for Volusia County students. But they take the backstretch suites and put a restaurant in each one of the 24 suites. And then you get to go from suite to suite and sample each restaurant. It starts at 6 o'clock tonight and goes till 10. And while you're at it, you get to look right down on the backstretch where they're coming out of turn 1 and 2 and accelerating hard and then braking hard to dive through the chicane. So it's a beautiful way to watch the races here in the evening from 6 to 10 with great food and great people. They pack it, that whole sweet backstretch, which that's something else. By the time we get back here next year, that's going to be gone.
Right. That whole track is going through a change, and by 2016, as I understand, it's going to be finished. Is that about on target?
It's about on target. I'm right now looking out. Half the grandstands, or maybe a third of them, are completed. But the other 2/3 are the old grandstands and empty seats. Was talking to Joey Chitwood earlier this week. He said, come 4th of July, it's even going to be different, a little more different, because the whole Sprint Tower is going to be gone, completely gone. And then after the 4th of July race, they will build a whole new tower in there. So they're going to demolish that shortly after the motorcycle races this year, and then start rebuilding it right after the 4th of July races. So Daytona Rising is really big right now. A big impact on the community, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So much happening here. It was up in the new section of the grandstands. Richard Childress and Austin Dillon had a escalator race about a week ago and tried out the new escalators. And well, actually, Austin Dillon got to use the stairs. They let Richard Childress use the escalator. But it was interesting to see the crowd and everybody enjoying the escalator races here in the new grandstands.
Tell us about the number of cars. I understand there are 55 cars, but how many different classes and just folks, for those of you who are not familiar with the Rolex 24, Terry, there are cars that run 200-plus miles per hour that zoom by cars that run 30 or 40 miles per hour less, and they all head toward a hairpin at the same time. Is that right?
It is right. We've got 4 different classes. We've got the prototypes, the prototype concepts, the PCs we call them. Then we've got the GTD, which is your Grand Touring Daytona, and your GT Le Mans. And what it is, they combine the IMSA series with the Rolex series, and this is the new Tudor United Championship series. But one thing that has happened with that is they have leveled the playing field between the prototypes, the PCs, and even the GT Le Mans are all pretty close, within 4 to 5 miles an hour of speed for an average lap. Now, the thing is some of the cars are faster in the turns and some are faster in the straightaways. But this might be the first year you might see if a GT Le Mans could win overall. It's totally possible. they get a little bit better mileage and don't have to, and a larger tank. So they've leveled the playing field here. This is going to be a really competitive race for overall, but there are 4 races within the overall race going on, and that is what is exciting. I talked to Catherine Legge, the driver of the Delta Wing, which that's a whole new concept car in itself.
I'll say.
And she said that the closing speeds aren't as high as they were before, but that Delta Wing is just an amazing car. It's just totally different from anything you've ever seen. It has great downforce to keep it on the track. The front end of it's only probably maybe 2.5, 3 foot wide with 2 tires and then a narrow nose, sort of like a smushed up drag racer would be a good description of it.
Yeah, I've seen that car. In fact, that was a lot of controversy around that automobile, and always made me wonder as to how the sanctioning body would approve. And I guess if it has 4 wheels and a body and an engine, are there different regulations or rules for that vehicle versus the standard prototype?
The prototypes now it's a whole different world here the past 2 years. When you combine these 2 series, we've gone back to what I call a little retro, where the cars are exotics and they look exotic, and I think that just adds a little more exotic to it with that Delta Wing. But even Michael Shank Racing has switched from a Daytona prototype over to a Honda, and they're driving different. They've decided to go with the old IMSA, or the American Le Mans type car instead of the Daytona, the Daytona prototype, which they were based on, and that's pretty interesting to think that one of the top teams is Michael Shank Racing is switching from a Daytona prototype over to a Honda, a Honda prototype that's totally different from anything they've ever done. And they're on the pole, so they must have done something right.
Well, that's for sure. We're talking with Terry Sabiston, sports reporter for racing at WNDB, Car Clinic's affiliate in Daytona, and our inaugural affiliate going on 24 years ago. So, Terry, so that our listeners can be clear, there are 4 categories, and you said an overall winner. So will there be 4 individual category winners, obviously, and then will there be one car that finishes first, and do they all start at the same exact time?
They do roll off all at the same time. They'll actually put a second pace car back in front of the GT Le Mans and the GT Daytonas to give them a little gap so they can get their pit road speed set. But they'll be all on the track all at the same time. We will have an overall winner. All the winners get a new Rolex, which that's pretty awesome if you think about it. And that's something that these guys take with pride, is winning that Rolex. And Rolex just signed on for another sponsor, I think, for another 15 years. So Rolex is on board here. They've been on board since the first race here in, I think, 63. So the Rolex continues as a major sponsor. But it's just it's amazing. Right now, we've got the Ferrari Challenge going on. So, and what this is basically your Ferrari dealers throughout the country. They put together a race team and bring a Ferrari out, and they race against each other throughout the year. And this is their kickoff. And they've actually got 2 races. One was yesterday, one today. They're on the track right now racing Ferraris. Here at, I believe, 10:30, we've got the historic 24 Hours cars that'll go on display in the fan zone, and those guys will take a parade lap around of all the old cars that have raced here. And then come 2:15 this afternoon, we roll off for 24 hours nonstop with over 50 cars on the track. That's just crazy.
It is. It is crazy. And folks, just think about it. You have these 50-plus cars on the track, and they're running wide open for 24 hours. It sounds to me like you're not going to get much sleep over the next day or so.
I don't want to. Bobby. I want to be here.
I hear you. It's always great to hear from you down there. And the only wish that I have right now is that I wish that we had our studio set up at the track, live from the track, which we have done before. So I'll let you get back to it, Terry. It's always great to have you join us on Bobby Likis Car Clinic. And hats off to WNDB. And a special shout out to everyone there in Ormond Beach and the Daytona area. From Bobby Likis here and all the team and the crew. It's just great to I just can only imagine what the activity is and the excitement. Again, thanks, Terry, for joining us today.
Bobby, thank you. And once again, we went on the air with you on our FM station, 93.5 FM. This is our first racing broadcast on 93.5 FM. and 1150 AM, WNDB, now on the FM, and here we are covering racing live from Daytona International Speedway. Just an amazing transition that WNDB's gone through here in this past year that you've been a big part of.
Well, great. What's right with that picture? Terry Sabiston. Hey, Terry, thanks for joining us again. Stay safe and have fun. Don't work too hard.
You talked me into it, Bobby. Thanks a lot.